do, man.
And a very warm welcome to you all, wherever you are, to today's edition of Lockdown SK, the interactive self-isolation talk show, broadcasting to you live from our micro live streaming studio here on the beautiful island of Corfu in sunny Greece. And should there be a breakdown in our transmission for whatever reason, please log on to our website at www.StudioKerkyra.com, the video platform that is Vimeo.com, or good old YouTube, or else check us out on Twitter's Periscope. And to help bring this digital broadcast to you across the internet today, I should say, I'm very pleased to have the assistance and everything else from Claire Haas, our hard work producer, who will endeavour to answer all your comments on Facebook Live and take those calls from Skype. And, of course, no show would be complete without the irrepressible Mr. Thomas Haas. Hello, Thomas. How are you today?
Hello, Adrian. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again, logging on here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Vimeo. No, did I forget anything?
Yes,
it's getting more.
It is Instagram. You could say Instagram is another one. Yes, we're spreading like tentacles everywhere. You probably noticed.
But great. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching us again. And hello to you all. Do a fantastic Thursday afternoon here on the beautiful island of Corfu. It's getting warmer now, so we can feel the heat coming slowly, and everything else is getting ready. But hi guys, thanks for joining. Christopher Dabana saying hi from Veria Batades to everyone. Not long till Monday. No, it's not.
Chris, we're counting down the minutes to freedom, maybe, from partial lockdown. Let's say that. 4th of May, a few things start to ease and hopefully get a bit better. Unfortunately, we're missing May Day, which is a big do here in Greece and across the world in many places, actually. Although I am told
I'm not sure if we're missing that at all, because
really?
I heard something in the restriction. They say they're losing, easing it from Monday on. First reason they said 4th of May was okay. They want to get this 1st of May bank holiday out of the way, but this postponed that allegedly now to the 9th of May.
We said that the other day, didn't we?
Is this now true or not?
It's we don't know, but that's what the indication was, and I think that was said by a Greek minister a few days ago. We'll have to wait and see. We'll get back to you if we know any more details on that. Can I just say a very warm welcome to a growing, wonderful Worcestershire posse. Loads of people from Worcestershire are watching us, and a big hellos to you all. And to Hayley, I've got some updated news. She had her first day at work at the National Testing Centre for COVID-19 in Cheshire, and she spent 5 hours in a fume hood. Very hot, she says, and had a lot of air blown at her. No food or drink. A fume hood. I think she means one of those full-blown head shields, as it were. But she's doing very important work testing for COVID-19. So I'm glad she's getting on very well. And we're all very impressed by her and our other viewer in Scotland and other viewers as well, Julie Cam up in Edinburgh, who have given up their day job, as it were, to put their lives at risk and help with the effort to fight COVID-19, both with testing facilities.
Yeah, exactly. And so Kirsty's doing the same now. She's testing people over.
Hayley is. Yes.
Hayley,
she's working in this big laboratory in Cheshire, which is supposed to be the main central COVID-19 laboratory of the UK. But she's only been there a day, I think. But it's a splendid effort that she's doing that, nonetheless.
Great. Now, and let me say hello quickly. Lauren Smith is saying hi again from Showery Bumpy. Keep safe, everyone. Jackie Cherry is saying hello, guys. Hi, Jackie. Nice to see you. Nice for you to log on. A lot of people log on. Thanks, guys, to log on and say hello. Margaret Johnson saying hi, everybody from Showery, Kent. Doesn't sound so good, does it?
No.
Donny Dumford said hi. Thornbury, South Gloucestershire.
Oh, how lovely.
Donny
Gloucestershire.
Dunford. So,
Great.
I don't know, maybe I thought you know him. But Melita is...
but we do now. Thank you very much for joining the programme, Lockdown SK. It's always good to have viewers from Gloucestershire. Lovely county. Thomas, steeped in history as well.
Oh, great. And see, I love English history.
Well, there's a lot of it there.
There's a lot of
Gloucester Docks and all the rest of it. Yeah, it goes way back.
Nice. And hello to Melita. Melita is writing in happy birthday, Colonel Tom 100 today.
You beat
raised over 30 million. I thought so. What a man. So deserve his promotion. Why he got promoted to Colonel.
Yes, he's Colonel at the 1st Battalion Yorkshire Regiment, granted in that special accolade today. He also, Thomas, enjoyed a fantastic fly past by the RAF and others. They sent out a Hurricane and Spitfire that circled over his house at least 3 times. Each time, Colonel Tom was giving them a hearty wave, which was absolutely wonderful to see. Did you know also that he had over 140,000 birthday cards delivered?
No way.
Yes,
140. Over.
Yes, and they flood this large hall of a nearby school where his grandson attends, actually. And the other thing is he got his name on a locomotive, a freight locomotive, which is fantastic.
Nice.
That's a rare accolade in the United Kingdom.
So great.
And here's something really special. For the last few days, the Royal Mail gave him his own personal frank. No, that's the stamp that you see on a letter in the United Kingdom between the date stamp and the postage stamp. Well, he had a little banner there dedicated to his 100th birthday and saying what a fundraising hero he was. So splendid effort from the Royal Mail there. And everybody around the world, I mean, hundreds of countries, well, not hundreds, dozens of countries have contributed. We said early on that Bedford turned out to be the most generous city or town in the United Kingdom. But it's over 30 million. And he's also got a #1 song in the UK charts with Michael Ball, You'll Never Walk Alone. I mean, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic what he achieved now in this short period of time. It's great. So happy birthday from us here from Corfu to Colonel. No, Tom now. Yes, so great, well deserved, and happy. Many more, hopefully.
Yeah, here's to the next 100, Tom. You're showing it how it should and could be done. I mean, sheer grit and determination. Do you know his target was only to raise £1,000, and he's done over 30 million, all for NHS charities together. And I think there's 140 separate little charities within that. So it should go wide and far. Marvellous effort.
Yeah. Well, only one thing I can say that is old school.
Well, yes, you can certainly say that.
Let me say hello to Sally Roberts. Hi, everyone. Sally is saying, Nikos Lubos, we are watching you. Hi, Nikos and Annabelle. Nice to see you. Vivian Dole, is great to have you all back. It makes our day. Thank you so much. You guys make our day. And I'm getting much more in here from messages. Thank you, guys. Wow, it's coming. Richard is a hi, guys, from Bournemouth. So
great. Hello, Bournemouth. Yes, lovely place. Beautiful.
I can't pronounce the surname. Zebebe. So sorry if I pronounce that wrong. And much more. Janet Petit is hi from Stokes-on-Trent. Beverly is a hi, guys, from Corby in Northamptonshire. Take care, stay safe.
Thank you very much.
The same to you. Is a lot more messages coming in. It's great,
fantastic, all across the UK. That's absolutely wonderful indeed. Thank you, Nico, for putting me right on Victoria Atkins, I think her name is, the Minister for Safeguarding. I get a lowdown of what she does. She's the Permanent Secretary for State at the Home Office since 2017, but I'm still not clear, Nico, what she actually does as Minister for Safeguarding. But there you go. It's only a small point, but thank you for enlightening me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm having more messages coming in. Olivia Maria Lockhart. Hi, guys, from Aston-upon-Lyne. Did I say this right? Line?
I don't know, to be honest. I haven't heard of it, actually, but how dreadful. Aston-on-Lyne, maybe? Yes.
Aston-on-Lyne. Yeah, good to see you both. Hope everybody is beautiful. Corfu is safe and well here in beautiful Corfu. Everybody is safe. Thank you. It's chilly and wet here today. Still keep fingers crossed for September visit. All being well. So there we're going in already what we wanted to talk about.
Indeed, Thomas. Yes, because we are getting serious conflicting pictures here. Just before we say any more, I'll thank our lovely viewer in Bognor in Sussex, Paul Dew, who told us that there are plenty of package holidays available from EasyJet to this wonderful island of Corfu, sadly, for 2021. He didn't say anything about this year, and that does seem to be the case. There's a lot of confusion and
lots
unknowns, quite frankly, aren't there?
I mean, I read an article this morning. The TUI is announcing something for the mid of June on flights. And I said, where? But that's again fake news, and that's the problem we are facing at the moment. There's again so much fake news coming out regarding holidays. Everywhere you turn, everybody is talking about going on holiday, and then you see the different reports, and half of them, or more than half of them, are not even true. So guys, be careful what you read. It's really it's a nightmare at the moment. Yesterday again I looked through, today again I looked through, and a lot of people are saying now, hey, you know what? I'm getting so confused. I wait until the tour operator is canceling my holiday, yeah, and I rebook for next year because this is too much headache. See, this is the confusion that can hurt a holiday island like Corfu now, as example, because
so.
is this fake news starting to take negative effect in people's decision on going on holiday?
Yes, and there absolutely. Nobody seems to know, including the flight operators. I was reading a lengthy article from the airline industry, which was explaining how difficult it's going to be when they actually get the green light to start up again. It's not just a question of the physicalities of moving planes around and taking off their safety wraps, because they're sort of in limbo at the moment. There are some planes always at short notice ready to fly, but most of these fleets have been grounded. You know, we've seen the pictures at Heathrow Airport. I think British Airways have taken over Bournemouth Airport, would you believe? It's all going on there just for storage of planes. But the real worry facing the airline industry, according to this report that I read the other day, was how the countries that they have to fly through or over are going to implement travel restrictions. They just don't know. And there's a warning out today that for medium-term size flights, not necessarily short haul, just beyond short haul, the passengers could be looking at 4-hour delays just to get through check-in and onto the plane, simply to have their temperature taken and maybe these health passports. But we don't know for sure yet.
No, and that's the whole confusion now. Airlines is saying they're going to start operating 15th of June around, where I can't see that happening. As an airline making a decision, they have to listen to the government. They can't take the decision by themselves, can they?
No, because they have to have certificates to fly and all the rest of it. And here's something else that I didn't realize, that pilots, although they're fully trained, their training only lasts for a certain amount of time. And because they've been furloughed for quite some time, many of them are going to have to be retrained in flight simulators, which will add to the time of getting back to anything like a semi-normal service.
That's a good point, because they all have to have certain flight hours, and it's done in certain times.
Exactly.
Time
constrained.
So
and they've ordered to retrain. Not all of them, but many of them have to. So that's an additional worry and cost burden for the airlines, all of which are seriously struggling. We keep mentioning this, that some airlines have received multi-billion bailouts. Others, big ones, particularly from the United Kingdom, to my knowledge, haven't received any. So come on, United Kingdom, look after your airline industry, because all your competitors are doing just that.
Yeah, definitely, and that's one thing. That brings us on to hotels now. On the other side, let me say hello quick to a few people. Thanks, guys, for writing in. Pandora Doyle is writing in saying we're missing you and Corfu from Norwich, Norfolk at the moment. We should have been in Aguirradis by now. So it disturbs a lot of holidays for people. No? Lavinia Winnie is writing in saying hello to my old stamping ground, Gloucestershire. Love from Kino Piastes.
Oh, wonderful, Winnie.
P.S. Hello to Thomas, Adrian, and Claire too.
Thank you.
Thanks. Great.
Gloucestershire's more important than us. Absolutely. Brilliant. No, Gloucestershire is a lovely county, home of the old Gloucestershire spotted pig, wasn't it? Gloucester Old Spot. That's the one. Yes. Oh, and by the way, useless piece of
getting exciting now.
No, I'm getting excited about motorway service stations. Here's something useless piece of information for you. Gloucestershire, in Gloucestershire, on the M5, just outside of Gloucester, they have the most extraordinary design, in my humble opinion, that is, of a motorway service station, all built from recycled materials, and it looks absolutely splendid. In fact, if you just want to have a quick break from the driving on the motorway, when you're allowed to, of course you're not at the moment, I do recommend checking out Gloucester Services, just to look at and marvel at the building. It's fantastic, and all local products inside there are for sale. It's a motorway service station to compare. You can't compare it with any other motorway service station. There's a good thing for Gloucester. I'm saying it for Gloucester today.
Great, good one. I've never seen anybody getting excited over a service station.
I could get excited over all sorts of things, I could tell you, but not on this programme. No, this is Lockdown SK, where we've got to keep a serious face with a little bit of humour injected.
Of course. Let me move on to more comments. Steve Powers in here. Hi from rainy Manchester again. Hope you both well. Yes, we are.
We're very well, Steve. We hope to bring some sunshine vibes your way from Corfu. And all of you in England suffering, or UK, suffering from a rainy, miserable day, we'll endeavour to try and lift your spirits up however we can.
Yeah, and here we just got in from Ross Savage. In the UK, the pilots must take a manual landing once every 28 days.
Ah, well,
So
there we
that's a
are. Thank you
good
for
one.
that great piece of information, and that just proves the point. Yes.
So well,
they've got-
Savage, thank you very much.
Yes, they've got to fit all that in, as well as not knowing how they're going to be with international regulations. Each country is possibly going to have their own set of regulations to adhere to. And I think the passenger, wherever they're flying to outside of their country, have got to be prepared for lots of delays and all sorts of unknowns at this stage. I think we can truly say that.
Yeah, so that was von Ross. Savage, thank you for this info. And Jen Nichols is writing in, just heard, possible lockdown till June here in UK. We'll find out more this evening.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
dear.
Thank you for telling us.
Oh, dear. So possible lockdown till June in the United Kingdom.
Well, those figures did spike recently in the United Kingdom. It's rapidly becoming the second most affected country after the United States of America, the way things are going on. I think the spiking figures mostly down to care homes now being counted in the official figures. And of course, there's all those deaths at home we shouldn't forget about either. So the picture in the United Kingdom, although the rate of growth of COVID-19 infections may have slowed and the fatality rate is still, they're not out of the woods. And it may be Boris Johnson, he did say right from the start he was going to take a very, very cautious approach. He was not going to rush in to removing the restrictions of lockdown.
No, definitely not. And when you see that, the World Health Organization was warning about easing lockdown restrictions. And they're warning now for the last 2 weeks, countries, guys, don't jump the gun. I mean, first in the UK, I believe this is getting extended because, they responded far too late with what's going on at the moment. It's terrible. I mean, let's send out a quick thank you to all the key workers, all the health workers, all the doctors, all the nurses, everybody involved in this town, to the cleaners. I saw a story, where cleaners, when they see what they have to
That's
clean,
the worst of all, really. I know.
Some of them are really, really shocked and shocked, traumatized,
and they're not exactly well paid, and they bear a very large brunt and responsibility on keeping hospitals clean, not just hospitals, surgeries and all medical facilities right across the board. Key workers stretch to lots of different areas, and it's not just healthcare workers, it's delivery people, infrastructure people, and all of them are very valid, doing a fantastic job. And as we keep reminding everybody, we've all suffered together with lockdown. We've had to give up so much and therefore suffer in our own ways. It would be crazy to go through all that for nothing, to release the lockdown early and then
to ease that so early. I think it would be ridiculous. I know people must get, we're feeling it here, you're getting frustrated if you can't move around, and we here effectively now over 40 days we haven't been moving except to the village quickly for shopping, supplies, and that's it. But occasionally, every 2, 3, 4 days. But you know what? The beach is so close, you can't go down there. You can go nowhere. It's of course it's frustrating, but giving up now, we got so far, just throwing that all away would be a mistake.
It certainly would. It would be for nothing. All that effort and sacrifice for no reward. No one wants to see a return of COVID-19, and lockdown has proved to be quite effective. Now, I've just said that line. I'm well aware that there's a certain gentleman in the United States of America, he who's behind Tesla Motorcars and SpaceX project, very clever man called Elon Musk, and he would strongly disagree with me. He actually disagrees with lockdown full stop and wishes America to be open up for business as normal right now. Well, I'm afraid we don't necessarily agree with Mr. Musk on that point.
No, definitely not. I mean, everybody sees this different, but when you really watch what's going on, you can't, you shouldn't make a mistake of misjudging this situation. And this is China's example is going up again. No, they have fear. Does this? But it's not reported as widely as it was by the beginning. So that's another thing we saw here. But let me carry on. Here is a couple of comments in. Steve Ford is saying, breaking news: the Corfu Airport extension has been completed. 1 year ahead of time.
Wow,
so just in time, isn't it?
Yes. It was looking good the last time I was lucky enough to see it, and that was a few months back now, I think, at least a couple of months. Yes, I think they're going to be able to double the capacity, actually. Possibly 5 lounges coming on stream there, departure lounges. So it's all very good.
When they're ready, aren't they?
Yes. But of course, there are no planes flying. And while I think to tell everybody, today also was a special day in Germany, would you believe, Thomas? Because today, the new Berlin-Brandenburg airport that's been, was it 7 years in the making, or maybe even longer than that, has finally got approval to open, and I do believe the big day is on the 31st of October. Rather strange, that's Halloween. They've missed 6 other opportunities to open for various reasons. I know one of our German viewers was going into the detail about the ups and downs of this long-running saga of Berlin Airport, but at least they've got the approval, and hopefully for the good people of Germany, and guten Abend to you all, you'll have an airport in Berlin to be proud of and functioning, if of course there's anywhere to fly to.
That's the thing. I mean, Corfu Airport is ready for you, Mike Dirk. He says, hope that we in Wales are allowed to travel to Corfu by July. I mean, as we just heard, the airport is ready. They completed a year before they should have done. So great. I mean, this is fantastic. Yes. But yeah, if it's so, we would be happy to welcome you here on Corfu, definitely.
Absolutely. We like all things Welsh, particularly the leeks, lovely vegetable, but Wales is the most beautiful of countries. It really is splendid. Both Brecon Beacons, Snowdonia, and the Elan Valley, I've got to say, is a favourite of mine. Absolutely. Warm welcome to all our Welsh friends.
But gets me on to the next thing now here, quickly. And this is, Nikos commented in, I wanted to talk about that, but Nikos was faster again. So, Nikos and Annabelle having fast, that's great. Reading comments on Facebook, I believe the Greeks gone totally crazy about the wearing of face masks becoming compulsory when they go outside. So there's restrictions. Yes, they're making this mandatory for you to wear masks, but that's in shops, in enclosed spaces, when you go to hairdressers, also all in enclosed spaces like shops, supermarkets, and that you have to wear them. If you walk here on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere where we live, you probably don't have to. But I think they gonna stiffen that law. I heard somewhere today, a bird told me they're gonna make this mandatory completely when you go out. But the first stage is now having in enclosed spaces groups, and in employment, employers and staff have to wear them all constant. So yes, we're getting, and there's a lot of confusion going on again. How long? Where? No, I mean, the best bet is just when you go out, put it on. When you come home, take it off. As simple as that.
That's good advice, yes.
Yeah.
I read somewhere the other day that they're even having to redesign office environments as well to allow for social distancing. So, the more you think about it, the more you've got to do. Everything's got to change to cope with this after lockdown and the threat of a second wave of COVID-19, which absolutely nobody wants, by the way.
I mean, I got another great comment in. Thank you, guys. If you want to comment live here now on the show, comment now about the box. Send us a message via Messenger or an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. I'm going to check that. And yes, let us know if you think we forgot something to mention, if we said something wrong, or you think we should know something we don't. So simple. But here is Richard Koskinas is writing in. Thank you. It says flights are going to be very expensive to begin with.
I think that's very true.
I think that's spot on. Yeah.
I've heard that. Yes, there may also be extra taxes and all sorts. Thank you, Richard. Are you the Richard from Pedicus? If you are, a very good afternoon to you.
I think this is our Richard.
Hi, Richard. Good to hear from you. Actually, yes, I think the days of cheap air travel are probably gone now.
Yeah, no, definitely when they have to social distancing on aeroplanes now.
66% load factor, which is going to make them totally uneconomic.
Exactly, that's one point. But the other thing is, when I look in now, and Nikos Luvos sent me something about his EasyJet flight, when he cancelled that, they offer, now instead, because he booked high season, they offer now the equivalent of that, but anywhere in Europe without any extra charge.
Really? Okay.
So to any destination of his choice. So when they offer that now and they pick that flight up, are they not financially hurting themselves offering something like that when they're already in a state?
Sound like that, wouldn't it? Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if they can do that. I mean, look now, hotels and tour operators already struggling of paying the money back to people who booked holidays.
Absolutely. It's hotels that they're having the most trouble with. Trying to get money back if you've already paid for your hotel in advance is becoming an absolute impossible nightmare. So we keep hearing. I think I mentioned that Which, the Consumers magazine, are urging the government to come down hard and force the airlines and tour operators to make these cash refunds, which, if you look carefully in the small print, they are obliged to do so. And we're forever hearing stories here, aren't we, Thomas?
Yeah,
that
of course.
People are not
what cash are they using to do that?
Well, that's a good point. They have not got deep pockets. They have not got cash reserves. So that's probably the reason why the good folk haven't had cash refunds, and the airlines are very keen to give you vouchers to be used for some other service of theirs. Obviously,
Of course,
their cash flow is non-existent at the moment. I mean, I don't know how many of them are going to survive, quite frankly.
So yeah, these all the bookings, when I read, we got some emails, we talk about that and we're looking into that further before let me out. But there's people writing and saying, when we booked the holiday got cancelled. Yes, we should get our money back, like they said. And now we're trying to contact the emails, contact them per telephone, like they said we should do, and we get nothing back. It's not just in the UK; it's happening here in Greece too. When people book direct, so they said all of a sudden through an office, through an agent, the agent tells to him, "Okay, here's the direct telephone number from the villa owner. Yeah, call him yourself." I said, "What?
Oh dear!
Where's
the service gone? Blimey!" But of course, we should make the point that most of these firms are not able to run a full complement of staff. Call centres are probably not non-operational at the moment. That's why they really want you to email in. So it's a bit surprising when you hear to give them a ring, because I don't think any firm particularly wants you to be phoning their customer services at the moment, mainly because there aren't many service personnel to take the calls, still under lockdown.
It's under lockdown, yeah.
But I mean, this holiday flight business is still extremely, pardon the pun, up in the air.
It's iffy at the
far
moment.
too
You
up in the
can't
air.
say
No,
anything.
We can't say
really.
anything. There's nothing in stone here, and things can change. The Greek government, amongst many other governments, are, including the UK, are very quick to point out that should the situation on the ground with COVID-19 change in any way whatsoever to the negative, they will completely go back to square one with lockdowns and all the rest of it. So we're not out of the woods, as I keep reminding everybody yet.
Definitely. And let me say hello quickly to Mike Dirk. He said, a good day to you too, and hi from Swansea. Nice, bumpy, see?
Yes, fantastic, and a beautiful place called the Mumbles Bay there. Lovely place indeed.
So no, and thank you very much. And Adam James is writing in hi from Rock Village,
yes,
UK.
That's the Worcestershire posse.
Ah,
you see.
okay.
Loads of people watching us for some extraordinary reason in Worcestershire, but Worcestershire is an absolutely beautiful county. One of those counties in the UK that's affectionately known as the Garden of Eden. England, I should say, sorry. Kent as being another one, I think. Vale of Evesham in Worcestershire was a centre for market gardening. But Worcestershire, Thomas, beautiful county.
Great, Worcestershire.
Really,
see,
yes.
there's so much going on. No, thank you everybody for writing in and letting us things know and saying hello. We happy to say hello to anybody you want. If you want to give somebody an shout out here on the beautiful island, because you know them, because you come so many times for so long time already here on this island for holidays. Use us. Send us a message, send us a comment now, and we give your friends here on Corfu a big shout out, and vice versa, of course.
Of course, yes. All the people lucky enough to be living on this paradise island of Corfu. We are your digital platform to share your experiences, questions and answers to all your loved ones and friends across the world using Lockdown SK and the fantastic technology that we can deliver to you. Thomas, can I just say a warm hello to a lovely lady called Eleanor Atkinson, who I do believe is currently living in Lincolnshire. She parents live in Norfolk, and she has sent in a lot of hearts to the studio. I personally know Eleanor, and it's always good to see that you're watching the program. Thank you very much.
So, and here Nikos is writing in and saying regarding airlines, and he said they want their money back from the airlines. They don't care about the financial state of airlines.
No.
They want the state to give money to the airlines. They want cheap flights to continue. They don't want to pay extra taxes on flights.
No one wants to pay extra taxes, I'm sure, but I bet your bottom pound or euro or dollar there will be extra taxes somewhere along the line. And no, people do want the cash back, but it's a point maybe the government should be thinking about that. But quite frankly, I think the United Kingdom government have got an awful lot of other things to spend their money on rather than holiday flights, when there's alternative like vouchers and alternative booking dates offered. It's a bit tricky, that one, I think.
Definitely. More messages here. Jeffrey Buxton is saying hello from Devon. Thank you for writing in. Thanks for watching. Steve Bowers, an aviation expert on English radio yesterday, said that the air filtration system on an aircraft would block any virus, including COVID-19. If correct, why would EasyJet want to use the middle aisle or a seat, to restriction. I mean, I think this has to do with social distancing, isn't it?
Exactly that,
Yeah.
yes. And that was the thing that annoyed Michael O'Leary from Ryanair. He said he just simply wouldn't entertain the idea of having middle seats empty. I think it is particularly down to social distancing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and here I have Steve Ford, and Steve Ford is writing in Ryanair latest.
All right.
If you have asked for a refund and have been given a voucher, yeah, if you don't use it, the voucher within 12 months, then you will get a refund. I don't know. Okay,
Oh, God,
before I
maybe.
heard you're not getting a refund, but the voucher is 12 months, and then after the 12 months is you're getting a refund if it's not used. So, but I think this is just a tactic to delay that whole thing, isn't it?
Yes, I do. Can I just go back to our good viewer there, Steve Bowers and Sue in Manchester? Hello to you. Good afternoon. You mentioned about an aviation expert on the radio talking about the cabins of aircraft being able to give you some sort of, or he was talking about some protection against COVID-19. I would strongly be suspicious of that because the information and knowledge we have is that they can be very unhealthy places. As we all know, we get cold when we come off them, and think of all the cabin crew and pilots who suffer mysterious illnesses. There's an ongoing story about lack of air circulating in cabins, and I honestly would not get on board a plane and think that you have some degree of protection against COVID-19 simply because you're sitting in an air filtrated system on an aeroplane. I don't think it quite works like that. Don't forget the surfaces as well. Now, of course, they make a big point of saying that they thoroughly deep clean all these planes, and I'm sure they do. But this COVID-19 is super turbocharged SARS. It's not like normal flu.
Normal flu.
No.
Yeah. Okay. I'm saying quick shout out for Mike. Mike Turkey saying hi to everybody in Mesongi.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
we miss Mesongi
We like
too,
Mesongi,
man.
beautiful place just down the road.
Richard is writing in, what about the coupons? If the flights are more expensive, do you need to pay additional fees? See, that's
Well,
where it is.
that's a
I
good
know
question.
from EasyJet, from Nikos, in his email he sent me what he got from EasyJet, they said in there, no, without any extra fee. So you can swap that around with the voucher. You don't have to pay anything because the destination is different, or it's more. So
That's what we
they
believe,
don't,
yes.
but others are not so sure about that.
No, but we have heard of a couple where they will. I think you read out one earlier today, didn't you, Thomas? Where you can fly, or Nico told us you can fly anywhere in Europe, even further than you originally booked. So presumably, you shouldn't have to pay that extra.
Yeah, and Steve said he sent me a link. I'm gonna have a look at it. And Thomas Pierce is saying maybe with the break in aviation, they might actually finish Corfu Airport. We got news. They finished that 1 year ahead of time, so they used that time now, that lockdown. They really can, but it's finished. What Steve Ford said to us, it's finished. So that would be great, no?
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve, for telling us that, and everybody else while we're at it. This is great. Digital exchange of ideas. Wonderful. So, what's next on the agenda, Thomas?
Okay, I'm just looking. I'm just going in, and well, I'm getting much more messages over here. But the government released something, and I got some graphics
Yes, you
here
have
now.
got some
So I got some graphics for
illustrations here.
these illustrations. What this is easing of the lockdown. Let's have a look through them a little bit.
Okay, great.
So here we go. So that's the first one. That's what I got by PDF. I got this off LinkedIn today. Somebody messaged me that over, and that's the plan for the gradual easing of COVID-19 restrictive measures. We just got a couple of pages out, to be honest, didn't we?
Right, I like the look of that one. There we are, top left-hand corner. First thing you see on the page, prioritizing life. That's exactly, in my opinion, how it should be. We don't see that everywhere, so well done, Greece, for highlighting how important human life is. We've only got one.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So they prioritizing that nicely. So, and they thinking about it. Man, we see lives and valuable time, and they did.
Yes, they have indeed, yes. That's pretty self-explanatory there on screen. isn't it?
Totally, yeah. For this thing, but let me go. And that's the one you like to talk about,
I like
isn't it?
this one because that's great. That shows Greece in a particularly good light there. This is the reaction times. Look at the flags on the right-hand side there, and you'll see that Greece, you don't normally celebrate when you've got a minus, but in this particular case, you do. Well done, Greece, for getting -3. Splendid effort, and that is all down to the early intervention. And I think the seriousness with which the Greek government took this COVID-19 pandemic right back in the early days.
And
early
in
February,
March.
I think
Exactly.
they were galvanizing their minds.
But when you look, 8th of March, no event restrictions. That was exactly the date we had to stop filming the documentary.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Exactly the day we got stopped. So we were in the middle of, we were on filming location. We were in the middle of filming
for the rehearsal room. Yeah.
Exactly, and then bam, it went, and we got told, okay, we have to back up, we have to stop immediately. They have to close the building.
They had to have their emergency meeting, didn't they? And then they had to close the meeting. And the band players, the orchestra, were very disconsolate over that. Because they were all gearing up for the liturgy the next Sunday, weren't they?
Exactly, but they all got then cancelled anyway. But educational institutions are closed on the 10th. So they already on the 10th of March, they closed schools. Earlier than anyone else.
Yes, indeed, they did.
Totally, they responded so brilliant. And then on the 20th, well, we started with lockdown.
Sunday the 15th.
Sunday the 15th, and then the 22nd of March, bam, nationwide lockdown.
Yeah. Although we actually had a lockdown from Monday the 16th, I seem to remember. We certainly had serious travel restrictions from Monday the 16th.
Definitely from Monday the 16th, we had some restrictions. I started to get in, but the full lockdown with everything happened on 22nd.
So they say, but in my head it
was a little bit earlier here already. Yeah.
Yes, no, quite honestly, it
was.
But that's a good one.
How was the health system coping with that? And when you look at that one, Greece is quite good with that. I mean, they. Original number of ICUs was 797 and is now 20th of April 1015.
Yes, the figure I like the look of is the pink figure with the percentage of occupied ICUs. It's nice to see 20th of April a lower figure than any of the others at 25%. Let's hope it keeps going in that direction down.
Yeah, would be great. But see, this is all this quick responding and everything on there. I mean, the next one, we reduce the rate of transmission below 1. And that's great. In February, there was still, 2.5 people out of 5 had a problem.
Yeah.
And now it's half a person when you take that graphic. No?
And frankly, that is down to one thing, isn't it? Lockdown and social distancing as well, I should think.
Definitely.
Maybe hand sanitizing and maybe hand washing has helped in a way, but I do think lockdown is the number one reason.
Definitely. And when you look into the health professionals in February, I mean, they have plus 3,748 health professionals from the time from February now until May. No, the ICUs, they doubled when you see. No, and from testing in February from 800 tests, now in May around 5,500. The good thing here, the masks.
Yes, that's very impressive.
February is 1 million masks. Then throughout the period distributed has been 3 million, but there is still 21 million in reserve.
That's good to see and good to know. We may be needing them, but all those figures are quite impressive. It was about swiftness of movement and actually taking on the advice that the Greek government were given by health experts, notably from China. If you may remember, they had quite a few emergency flights, didn't they, in March? And I think there were high-level discussions going on between the Chinese and the Greek government, yes.
I mean, okay, stage of new normal. I mean, they're even talking about the new normal. Yeah, and when you look in likely stages of the crisis, February to April, initial outbreak and containment. No, May, June, coordinated return to a new normal with continuous monitoring. That's a good one. That's a key word, definitely.
Yes, continuous monitoring. Definitely.
And then July and later, sustaining the new normal, yet remaining alert.
Yeah, well, that's
remaining good. Alert. Exactly. I mean, that's great. And the objectives they going flattening the curve, gradually reopening of social and economic activities, and then the last preparing for a possible second wave in the autumn. That scares again. No?
Exactly. We keep hearing about this possible second wave in the autumn. Remember the guy from the CDC in the United States who's on the White House team
Yeah.
of scientific experts. He was very worried about this coming winter with the combination of normal seasonal influenza and COVID-19. The two combined together could be a disaster for the hospital services. Incidentally, this page here, I think it was page number 8 out of 19 that we got sent over. This is the first time that the word economy is mentioned.
Was exactly.
And the first thing, if you remember, was human life.
Human life.
And I think that lovely displays exactly where Greece has got its priorities.
Yeah, and when I look on the back,
Greece.
so you see on the back, horizontally written, vaccine.
Oh yes, I did see that.
So it's a thing. You see, this is all now. So of course they're hoping for, but gradually increasing the freedoms with the options to reinstate measures if needed, and that's is the most important thing. So they're gonna see how it goes now. How do the people keep to this still? Social distancing is the key here, definitely.
It is,
and making masks compulsory should be as soon as you leave from home until you get back home. No between.
No, and there won't be any hugs just yet. You might be able to sneak off and hug a tree, but I don't think you'll be able to hug a person.
Yeah, and here we got May initial phase of easing lockdown restrictions. So Monday 4th, the general population. This is stage 1. No travel movements, recreation gatherings, religious places. No, so then economic and social activities. Monday 4th of May. Monday 11th of May, education. First stage, economic and social activities. Second stage, and general population. Second stage. Yeah. So this is then retail businesses and all other categories except shopping malls.
Right,
That's Monday 11th, yeah. And then Monday 18th of May, education. Second stage, general population. Third stage, and economic and social activities. The next stage, third. So, and that goes then culture, archaeological sites, zoos, and botanic gardens, and so on. So travel movement possible. Total suspension of travel restrictions depending on progression of the epidemic.
Yes, and the other figure that jumps out there at the page is something that we have been talking about before, the limit on the numbers of people in a small group. It seems to be 10. That figure there is repeated twice, both for religious reasons and gatherings as well.
Yeah, and no, definitely. And the last over here is the general directions of safety, use of masks, then time limitations, journeys, work starting time issues, remote working, and special issues. We're making this document available as a PDF then on Facebook after the show, so I can just throw this on, and you guys can look through that. And it's quite helped yesterday.
Yes, very, very good. Certainly puts Greece in a good light there. And it's always good to see things laid out clearly so you can see what you're doing, particularly the dates and what's permitted and what isn't still. I think that was a very handy piece of information. So it does look as if, lockdown, the light is shining at the end of the tunnel in small incremental
small
stages.
Thing, how it goes with the traveling. This is then another thing. Here, Steve Ford, the EasyJet no fee only applies to passengers that booked in peak times like Easter and Whitsun, as far as I know. And I think you're totally right there. So
it's marvellous. There's always a fly in the ointment. There's always that small print that crops up out of nowhere. They'll find something. I don't know, it's like the old joke about insurance companies, isn't it? I've got a little bit on vaccines, Thomas. Do you want to go on about vaccines?
On the vaccines, yeah. Nicholas is saying here quickly, let me say that that's a common misconception that circulated air in airplanes make people more likely to get sick. In modern planes, that simply isn't true. He wrote a whole litany here for this thing. But guys, yes, it is. These are new aeroplanes, new technology.
I don't really like to disagree with you, Nick, but that's not my personal experience, actually, or indeed talking to many people who work for airlines. There is this unknown disease that has been plaguing the airline industry with pilots and senior cabin crew. They've given it a name. I can't remember that name now. I really, I don't know. I question that. Also, there was a lot of stories that come out to say that actually airlines reduce the amount of oxygen in the air cabin to save on money. That was before COVID-19 reared its ugly head. But I really would advise strongly against anyone who gets on a plane thinking that the air inside an aircraft is going to keep them safe. I wouldn't say that at all.
No, I mean, that's... you know,
I don't want to put a
going with that
now,
no, but realistically,
exactly.
it's the people when they sit next to each other. That's the thing. I think it's not about the air circulation in there.
Social distancing, absolutely, and whether you're fit to fly in the first place. Here's something else that I should mention while I think of it. At the moment, at Bournemouth Airport, would you believe, they're conducting tests on equipment, thermal cameras, so that every passenger would have their temperature taken whilst they're in the airport lounges, and if they had a temperature over, was it 37.5, they would not be allowed on board. That's what they're testing and thinking about at the moment.
I get another message in here from Margaret Johnson. Hi Margaret, thanks for writing in. She's saying, my daughter works for the NHS, not frontline, but has friends who are, and they have been told there could possibly be another peak of COVID-19 in June and November, which is scary. And that's where a lot of from the WHO, they're all warning from that. The last 2 weeks they're warning us.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, don't relax that. Stay. We just contained it. We contained it. With this lockdown, we just done a containment now, and it works. We see it works. The curves in most of the countries are flattening. It is a reduction on everything. No, so just to opening up, it's crazy.
Yes, we've heard about November and the winter months coming back to bite us, but we haven't heard about June, the second wave in June. That's a new one on me. That would put a fly in the ointment again for all the people.
For everything, and it's just that's the danger now. The next wave. I mean, Christopher Dabena is writing in. When will be the last lockdown show?
That's a good question, Chris. We were asking that question ourselves in
yesterday.
The last 24 hours. Yes, we were. We don't actually know, Chris, but we'll certainly be here on May the 4th. What happens after that, we're not absolutely certain. Maybe we'll have a strategic meeting soon. But
yes, we have to look. Until lockdown is over, frankly, because we started at 15th of March when the lockdown. As soon as we heard, okay, we're gonna get locked down, we started it off, and that's what we're doing. We are here until this is over, and how long? That's the question. If everything is all right, maybe in June, beginning of June, but you don't know until really that's all over. We're gonna stay on air.
Yes, we have no plans to make a swift removal from the air. We'll definitely be here for the next few weeks. I'm pretty sure of that. Unless, of course, you tell us otherwise. I mean, if you don't want us here, we'll disappear, of course. But actually, no, we're committed to what we're doing. We love what we're doing, and we love talking to all the wonderful people like you. Wherever you are in the world, this is your digital platform, as we keep reminding everybody.
Yeah, and here is Phil Ferris is writing in message over and said, enjoying your show from West Cornwall in the United Kingdom. Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much.
West
Cornwall. We have fond memories of staying in Guvia area and visiting all over the island, but especially Aris Taverna in Guvia.
Okay, I don't think I've had the pleasure of
that
one.
We have to check
Something
that one out, man.
Thank you for pointing it out.
But he said, I see that Sicily is offering half-price flights in autumn and every third night free.
Really?
Now that would boost tourism. Yes, I'm going on holiday. Do that, man.
Oh, bye. Bon voyage.
I'll go off, man.
You're off. Oh, what about lockdown SK? You can't go. You're needed. That's a funny one from Sicily, isn't it? Maybe that's so. But they were worrying only a week or two ago that what would happen if Sicily got a sudden upsurge of COVID-19 pandemic. Italy, as we all know, has been so badly affected, both north and south of the country. But yes, on paper, that sounds good if you're thinking of traveling to Sicily.
Yes, and I'm just looking because I'm sure I'm missing some messages here. But I apologize if I missed anything on messages here. I apologize. I'm gonna look through later and I throw it into the next show. Army is saying hello from Finland. I hope you are there the whole summer. Yeah, we are great. And you have to say you are.
I have to say Haiva Ilta, Army. It's always great to hear from you and all our fabulous friends in Finland. We like Finland, particularly on Lockdown SK.
Yes, we do, and I'm getting so many messages in. It's great. But going back, Sicily, I got that up and I saw that, and they really they're offering you half of the flights back, and they also pay 3/4 of your accommodation costs if you visit Sicily. Just to push that whole thing on. So I mean, that's something. If you're gonna get it in the end of the day, it's another question.
Well,
But
yes, but jolly decent offer if it's made good. That sounds great, doesn't it?
yeah, but this is again, what is fake, what is not fake? Is this confirmed? This is not confirmed.
Yeah,
I
true.
saw this article twice now in the last week. Yeah, and some people say no, it's fake. Don't do that. The others say no, no. Yeah, until nobody done it successfully, and can tell the story about it. I'm very cautious with that.
Absolutely, and booking flights anywhere outside of your own country is something that we've got to be cautious about because the airlines just aren't properly flying. I keep reading that airline capacity is down a staggering 80 to 90%
Yeah.
right across the board.
Wow. Yeah. No. Of course it is. It's
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen the state of the roads? There's hardly anyone on them. Although
yeah.
I keep hearing reports about people travelling at 150 miles an hour, would you believe, and turning roads into racetracks. But
Yeah, but Mike Dirk is saying stay on air till July 15th when
Oh.
I pop when I hope to be in Corfu and I will buy you both a big drink.
Oh,
yes,
thank you,
so
Mike. We'll have one of
things
those.
to look
Yes.
forward, man. It's
Absolutely.
great.
I'm a cheapie. I'll have a coffee. That would be great. But we're welcoming you back to lovely, beautiful Corfu from sunny Wales, or beautiful, wonderful Wales, I should say, whenever you can make it here. Absolutely. Please keep in touch with us. We love to hear from all our viewers and listeners, wherever you are in the world, because we know that there are millions of people across the world who absolutely love this island of Corfu. Once you come here, you never forget the place. It always seems to burrow and leave a little piece of itself in your heart. It really does. Millions of people around the world have come here over the years, and we know why. We're lucky enough to be here. Yes, we'll endeavour to keep Lockdown SK broadcasting for as long as we can, and as long as there is some element of lockdown going on. Don't worry, though, because I'm sure we'll replace it with another show afterwards. We're not going anywhere, and we've got so many other film projects and other projects of work to be doing in any case, so don't worry about that.
Okay, and I just getting here in quickly from Bowl Final. I just had a conversation with my daughter and her partner. His family are owners of a very successful grill room taverne in Palio Castrizza, and due to the social distancing rules with tables, there is no way it will be feasible to open with only 30%. Sorry, and I have to see more. 30% of the table space is being active for this season, and still not sure even if that would be 2 months at best. Fact from a owner, how will this cope for people that rent the shop then? So it's
one nightmare after another. Yes.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of unknowns, and people are writing in. Thanks, guys. Great for you taking part. Margaret Johnson, double espresso with lots of sugar and milk on the side. So,
how did you guess,
don't know you already,
they
man.
know my coffee habits. Good heavens. Always lovely to hear from you, Margaret, there in Kent.
Yeah, and Richard is saying amazing sunsets here on the island. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Anthony van der Krank is saying, we hope we will be there in September in Roda. And
Great.
we love Corfu. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, and there you see, and this makes us so happy seeing you guys. So many enthusiastic people about this island. They see how fast that island grabs everybody. It grabbed us. And if you come here for your first holiday, it's gonna grab you, and it just doesn't let go. That's how it is, because it's special, isn't it?
It's a special island. It really is quite magical in all sorts of ways. Many say it's the best place, and I think they could be right. Do you want to know some other news?
Yeah. You got some other news.
You got Spain. Here's a quick one from Spain. Really lovely idea. You know, Spain, equally like Italy, has suffered terribly for the last few weeks with dreadful deaths and dreadful numbers of cases. And people have been coming to doing things on their balconies, you may recall. Well, now there's an initiative afoot in Madrid, possibly government-sponsored, I'm not sure, with mobile screening vans that are bringing large screens into areas that are surrounded by balconies so people can watch full-length feature films. And it's a wonderful idea. I think the films are streamed by Amazon Prime, but the point is people can watch films kind of together. There is that sense of community, and that's something that I personally have been very worried about, us as a human race losing with all this social distancing and all the rest of it. So at least they're making an effort for people to enjoy and indulge in something kind of together, but on their balconies.
Well, it's great.
That's a great idea, isn't it?
It's thing, and I looked for a picture, and you reminded me on a picture now. They are from Athens. Houses, the facade of the houses with all the nice little balconies, the people are out there, and there was a picture of two families, taking a big wooden tabletop and put it on their end of the balcony and over to the neighbor's end of the balcony, and then they dressed this as a table for food. It looked great.
Fantastic.
You see this, when you see, I try to find this picture, guys, and later I have to show you that. I think it was great, but there you see how people are working together.
Absolutely. I even saw someone, a couple of guys playing tennis on a balcony. Amazing how they kept that ball going in the air for so long. That was really good. And also, there's a bit of news that made me laugh from Scandinavia. Sweden.
Swedish news.
Swedish news, it's a wonderful place. Well, this week they're celebrating a thing that's called Walpurgis Night. It's been a week-long celebration. It goes back to pagan days. It's a fertility festival, would you believe? And the councillors in the local town of Lund in southern Sweden, very concerned that it was going to be deluged with loads of people coming to celebrate the last night, which is, I do believe, tonight. So they had a bright idea. Let's flood the area with loads of chicken manure. That will keep them away. And they have. They put chicken manure everywhere just to keep people out. I don't want to imagine the smell, but I should think it'd be pretty unpleasant. What a novel way of keeping crowd control through chicken manure.
See? But it didn't cost them anything, did
it? Exactly. Good use for chicken manure. Maybe they'd be put on people's gardens afterwards. But it's such a shame we make light of it. But I mean, for the people in Sweden and Lund, it's a big deal to have their festival cancelled and curtailed.
It hits you a little bit. I mean, we're missing here now the Banieris here. I mean, I'm gonna miss them so much because it's great. You got your lamb there, you got your lukumadis there, you got drink there, and you got fantastic, lovely Corfu Ep people celebrating. And you can't do any better. Definitely. But I'm looking over, and Rick Johnson is saying, I hope to fly out on the 30th of August this year. Fingers crossed. Yes, we're gonna cross our fingers with you, definitely, because it would be great to see all your lovely people out here in Corfu, and we can put a big do on and celebrate all together. But you know what? At the moment, it looks a little bit doubtful, and I don't want to say that really. It seems to,
it does, Thomas. I know.
Is it working now? Easing the lockdown is not. It's are we getting a second wave, or are we over the worst? Is it? There's always the hope that it just disappears. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, a certain president was thinking that a few weeks back, it was magically going to disappear. Well, of course, it hasn't. And we're not in any medical position to make any predictions whatsoever. I do, however, think that we have to use our common sense and be extra vigilant. And certainly there are examples around the world right now of second waves. Although one country that springs to mind today, people in South Korea are quite happy because the level of cases and fatalities have suddenly dropped. And maybe South Korea is very slowly coming out of its lockdown hibernation.
Yeah,
they
but
suffered
it's bad there.
They
have a brutal lockdown.
Yeah, they have, and full-on disinfection. I mean, completely, they went overboard on it. But they are relatively confident that they're over the worst, sparing any second waves, of course. With the first wave, they're more or less satisfied that they've got it under control in South Korea. Mind you, they thought that in the same thing in Singapore, only to have it come back again with the migrant workers locked up in overcrowded dormitories. China, as we've already said, has had second waves, particularly in the border with Russia, where Russia put a load of Chinese workers back into China, and many of them have got COVID-19, unfortunately. Russia also
what's happened with them all? You don't hear afterwards anything. No, so it's all a little bit, I don't know. Can you trust the reports? Can't you? That's the big question. But we're gonna all find out ourselves, because it is not just going away, wishful thinking, but it's not happening. The only hope now is have a vaccine so that is ready, and we can get back to near normal life. That's what I loved. Near normal life. Yes. What now the Greek government is saying, new
I'm still impressed that they put
yeah.
human life as the most important number one there on the list. That's always good to see, isn't it? Rather than the economy or, I think there was a placard that sticks in my head when a lady in America, Illinois, a few weeks ago, she was demonstrating and she was saying, "Give me freedom or give me COVID-19." I don't think she knew
She
what
knew
she was
what she was.
talking
I
about.
know, and that's so the thing,
It's extraordinary.
I mean, let's remember all again that lockdown is here to contain the
Exactly.
virus. We are successful in that. It looks like we are getting ahead of it. Okay, I know in the UK it looks bad at the moment, and we hope that there's easing. It starts easing, and like by all the other countries. But that's fact now. How we gonna travel? We have no idea. But for Greece now, 1st of June, they try for all the international travel to open again. So that's good news, and we can concentrate.
is,
but
yes.
it is, mandatory to wear masks, and closed spaces like coffee shops outside and that where people are gathered, you have to wear a mask. As simple as that. So, and I think they're gonna extend that. They're gonna go in and say, you know what? No, mandatory when you go out to wear a mask, and you have to keep this on until you come home. I think, just be safe than sorry again.
Absolutely. It's good common sense, really. What have you got to lose? Okay, it's not the most comfortable things to wear, but then I can assure you having COVID-19 is anything but comfortable. It's a serious, very nasty virus illness that can have long-lasting effects on all your organs, even in central nervous system, would you believe? I've read reports. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But certainly as we've said before, not everyone who gets COVID-19 ends up in an ICU unit. We've heard from Alex Preston here on the programme, and indeed Olaf Beckers from Belgium, both suffering or have suffered from COVID-19, and fortunately both made great recoveries. But not everyone, unfortunately, is so lucky as those two fine gentlemen, and many people can end up in hospital with a quick, serious deterioration of their flu-like symptoms, and then 3 or 4 days later, they've passed away. I mean, it's appalling, really. And you only have to read and hear the testimonials of frontline nurses, both in the United States and in the United Kingdom, and they're heart-wrenching, aren't they, Thomas?
It's disturbing. When it's just reading that, it's disturbing, and just imagining what they're going through. I mean, but that's something we're gonna wanna save for Sunday, because Sunday we're gonna really chat about that. I got a couple of reports here because it's relaxed, and we wanna go into more details with things. But sadly enough, now, man, again, I have to say the hour is gone. This is all what we have time for today, guys. Thank you so much all for coming, commenting, writing into us, sending us emails, and so it's really great. Yes, I don't know. It's nothing more to say today. If I missed something, I apologize, and I'm gonna say that definitely tomorrow. If you need if you know something you think we should know, please don't hesitate. Comment here now, or send us an email after the show to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. But for me, that's all I have. You got anything, or that's it?
Well, I can say it for tomorrow, or run through a list of good things, benefits from COVID-19.
Yeah, some goodies. All right, that's always we always like to hear.
Yeah, okay.
Good things, of course. Before we finish our show,
we're coming back for an encore, but it's hardly an encore. Yes, no. Well, this is good, Thomas, because these are some reports around the world of how nature is improving the balance. We've got 3 different types of dolphins being spotted in the Bosphorus in Istanbul, which used to be called Constantinople. I have to get that in, don't I? Wild boar are roaming the streets of Haifa, that lovely seaside coastal resort in Israel, and rummaging through people's rubbish bins, would you believe? We've got wild cougars in San Diego, the capital of Chile, and they're even brave enough to go in apartment blocks as well. We've seen the Kashmiri goats in beautiful Llandudno, Wales. There's a thing called beautiful animals called dungongs, or actually known as sea cows. A herd of them have been seen swimming in a national park in Thailand, which would never be seen before because they'd be flooded out with tourists.
Great.
Also, we've got 3,000 flamingos have been spotted in Nata Lagoon in Albania. And they reckon they've never had so many as this year, and that's because the local olive oil processing plant and the local leather tanning plant have both closed for business, and therefore
so you see the pollution levels are dropping, and you can see how the planet is bouncing back slowly. I mean, it's still not enough what is done. We have to carry on with that, and that's why they're gonna be a new everyday life definitely
A new
coming
normal,
out. A new normal, like
the
report said. And okay, that's
one type of bird that is not faring so well. Spare a thought for pigeons. They're very concerned in Germany that the pigeons are going unfed, and they are in Krakow in Poland. Dzień dobry to all our Polski friends. We love a bit of Poland. And animal welfare groups there have taken upon themselves to be feeding the pigeons. That's a nice thought.
That's a nice thought.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh. So, but
got to look after the animals, you know.
Definitely look after everybody and see
Absolutely.
the new normal. So, go on. But guys, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for logging on, for taking part in the show with all your comments. It was great. If I forgot something, I really apologize. I will get this in tomorrow. But that's all for me today here on the beautiful island of Corfu. I hope you enjoyed that. And until tomorrow, have a fantastic evening and Kali Nichta.
Yes, indeed. And thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day today, wherever you are. And as always, stay safe, and a very good afternoon to you all.